And we're live!
Day 3 of the illustration stream with Kervin Brisseaux.
Hello, hello.
And Ariadne Ramundakis. And all of you, we already have so many people joining in the chat. Hey Nikos, hey Abhishek, hey Nayan. A lot of people from the last couple days. And if you're joining for the first time, let us know, because we have a lot of friends that we know already, but we want to make new friends on the chat today too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you make any new friends this week?
Yeah, I mean, besides meeting people in the office, got to meet some very interesting folks on the chat.
Yeah.
Even had time to check out Daichi's stream yesterday and just had a quick chat with him live, which was pretty cool. Yeah, it's been a fun week. It's been a really fun experience.
Yeah, we've had great people so far, and make sure you still stay tuned today because we have all the same streamers as the last 2 days, and it's going on, and it's the last day. So it's a little sentimental.
Yeah, very bittersweet.
Very bittersweet. So this week we had the last 2 days, and today again, 9 a.m. here we are with Kervin, 11 a.m. We're going to have Sarah Stewart back in the studio with Kathleen, 1 p.m. Katya Austin with Logan, and 3 p.m. Daichi Ito. So stay tuned and see what they create on their last day.
Yeah.
And today we're doing portfolio reviews.
Yes.
So this is a great chance to have someone like Kervin review your portfolio on Behance and give you tips on how to present yourself. Did you ever have a portfolio review when you were starting out?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone's terrible at it. That's like the one thing you need to come to grips with when you first start getting into presenting your own work, is you're going to be awful. And then the whole point of that is to keep trying just to improve and to be willing to put yourself out there. And then eventually the nerves just go away. It's just a part of the process.
Yeah. So we're going to be choosing 2 portfolios to review in our segment. Make sure you start submitting so that we can make a good selection. We want to make sure we have seen everything we can possibly see in the hour and a half that we have until we review them. So check out the portfolio tab at the top of the chat and submit yours. And then at 30 minutes till the end, we'll review them.
Yeah.
And let us know where you're from. What time is it? I had someone say that it was midnight where they are.
Yeah, dedication.
I'm sure there's someone that's at like 2 a.m. So let us know. Who's the latest person that's staying up to watch us? I wanted to show you, Kervin, something from yesterday.
Yes.
From Patrick. I don't know if you saw this. Wait.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I literally
now
just
I
caught a glimpse of it.
Here
There it is. Yeah, that's really awesome.
Yeah, so he was
awesome.
inspired by you, and he submitted this during Sarah's stream yesterday.
Yeah, that's great. Really well done. I like the colors, like the forms. I even like some of the terms you use in the sort of the patches on the jacket. Merbay.
Yeah.
Fish life. I might actually probably yoink one of those ideas into today's illustration. We'll see. So I can tie in the mermaid theme somehow.
Yeah, I love the mermaid.
Yeah, I like mermaid. That might be kind of cool.
Hashtag mermaid. All right,
Awesome.
And yesterday, you want to show what you did the past few days?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the last 2 days, we were working on sort of photographic hijacking, collage, digital takeovers. It has a bunch of different names. Starting with the image with Adobe Stock, and then just going through the process from sketch to draw to finally Photoshop in terms of creating this final image right here. The colors was provided by you wonderful people, which turned out great. It stuck with the mermaid theme at least. And everything else sort of just came into place thanks to you guys in terms of providing some quick little feedback. Everyone had like nice little anecdotes to help push this along. So it was really nice to kind of not have to design in a bubble and kind of involve you guys in the process. So I appreciate it. And this is the final result. So I hope you guys were pleased with that and very excited for the next part.
It looks so great. I love it. Who else loves it? Who else loved seeing the process after when he took it onto the desktop and added all these effects? I think that was really interesting and wasn't what I was expecting, because I was thinking, oh, it's an illustration stream, but then how do you make it pop and how do you make it different from something that anyone else could do?
Yeah.
Just adding.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's like, a lot of times, like for me, a piece doesn't really feel done until you've added that extra layer of texturization. And that, for me, it's again, it kind of ties back to my interest in like sort of kind of creating something aged or retro kind of removing the digital aspect of it to a certain extent, ironically, even though we are working digital, and it kind of gives it a more finished look for me. So yeah, so those things, definitely be sure to check those out in the previous streams. And if we have time today, I'll be happy to revisit them and show you guys how it was done for this one too.
Great. So, today's project
will be back on the iPad, and we are
Rodolfo
going to be...
says, damn guys, I love your black jackets.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We're ready. Ready. Here we go.
The bomber jacket crew.
So today we're going to do something a bit different. Still illustration focused, but no photograph. We're going to be inking and coloring this today. So this is a sketch that I developed for you guys to work on. And hopefully, as we're talking through and getting to learn more about you guys, about your interests, about my interests, about Ari's interests, we'll start to develop this, ink it up, and color it up, and that's it.
Great.
You have some questions?
Nayan said, did we plan it? No, but I've been like inspired by your style the past couple days, so I think it was definitely because of you that I wore this. Although I love this jacket, I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
James, hi, how are you? Daryl hasn't been here for a while. Welcome back. Ismail, good to see you again. He's from Nigeria. It was his first time joining, I think, yesterday.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi,
Awesome.
Paolo. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Prince. Oh, it's hot out here, 47 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. I've never even existed in that temperature.
That's
I think
crazy.
the highest
Where are
I've
they
been
from?
is like 43.
Wow. That's
Hi,
pretty-
Arturo. Hi, Degley. Everyone's joining, and if you're just joining now, we're starting a new illustration today with Kervin, and we also have a portfolio review today. The other exciting thing is we're having a chat and win in about 15 minutes, so stay tuned, and I'll let you know when that's happening, and you'll get the chance to win a little special toy. Maybe I'll give you a preview in like 5 minutes. So stay tuned for what you could win in the chat and win.
Absolutely.
Hi Caroline, hi Niladri, Carlos, Ryan. Abhishek says it's a decent 25 Celsius here. That's good. I feel like
That's nice. That's very comfortable.
very nice.
Very, very nice. I like weather where you can just kind of, you can wear a jacket, you cannot.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want and still
Because
feel very
you want to,
comfortable.
your style is very important. So you don't want to be restricted by the temperature.
Boom. You got it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So in here, I'm just gonna reiterate what we did yesterday. I created a time lapse for you guys very quickly, just so that you can see the process of how I build my illustrations. So just kind of laying down the basic forms, and then I was looking at a photo reference again to make sure that the anatomy looked correct, and then just started laying down where I might block the colors. Again, a lot of my stuff is fashion influence, as we've been talking about before, specifically street fashion. So like wearing like things like skull caps, hats, bucket hats, things
These
like that.
bucket hats, what's happening? Because I
It's
feel
a
like
new
you know
movement,
more
I feel
than
like.
me.
I feel like, you know what? I'm not sure why they took on so much. I feel like it's just something that, it's kind of like the, like revisiting kind of like the old school sort of styles back in the day. Like there's a lot of like styles that you would see nowadays that people would consider their dads would wear, or like something like
Yeah.
that. And nowadays it just seems like people are like kind of taking ownership of that. Like the young generation is taking ownership of that and kind of making it stylized. And there's a lot of brands that are kind of utilizing it and making it their own by adding some more sort of flair to them, patterns, things of that sort, like to
Yeah.
kind of make them pop.
I saw, I mean, when I was a teenager, people were wearing bucket hats, and I saw a teenager wearing one last year on a plane, and I was like, where did this person come from? And then I started seeing them more, and I realized it's a thing again.
Yeah, it absolutely is a thing. Hey, from the Dominican Republic. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, Vicente. Degley says, how long have you been learning to draw?
A long, long time. And you know what's funny is that even though I've been drawing what felt like forever, like I've definitely had moments where I've gone through an on and off state where like I would just focus on other things besides drawing, like learning how to use Photoshop, for example, when I was in college.
Yeah.
Things like that. But yeah, it's been a while and you never stop learning. Like there's always room for improvement. So there's never like an end date. That's why I kind of like looking at people that inspire me to see if I can set goals for myself to reach that kind of level. Yeah, it's good. It's good to like set benchmarks for yourself.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
If any of you have joined just now, let us know where you're from. It's great to see new people joining. Jocelyn's from El Salvador. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Bienvenido.
Do you speak Spanish?
Un poco, yeah. I took some classes in Spanish.
Oh.
And I just need time to like actually utilize it. So
Yeah.
I've been like hanging out, dealing with like my friends, family, just like trying to learn a little bit. I realize now that unless I watch something that, like my mom learned English, for example, by watching television, and it just got infused in her brain to like just learn the words watching these soaps every single day. So I think I might need to just do that and just like, now that I have the basis, just like
Start watching soap operas.
Start watching telenovelas.
Well,
yes.
there's tons to choose from.
Yeah, there's quite a lot. I'm sure Rodolfo has some suggestions because you love watching telenovelas, Rodolfo. For sure. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot, bro.
So we've got Joe from Brooklyn, JP from Houston, Elizabeth from Austin, Tim from Germany, Amanda's also Austin, Giulio from Venice, Italia, Kevin from England, Munir from Morocco. Nathan, did you pick a specific blue color for your initial line work, or is it just what you feel works best?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just what I feel works best. I typically like to utilize lighter colors when I'm just fleshing out the composition. I can be less so concerned about the details, how like refined it looks. It's more about just putting things in place in the canvas. And then I go over with the red, with a darker color to refine exactly what my black line work is going to do. And now what I'm going to do is make a new layer and start to create that line work. So we're going to go into...
This is so interesting because I think a lot of people would see your illustration and be like, oh, he just starts with the black line.
I mean, some can,
Yeah.
but I definitely do not want to do that. I like, I mean, even though it is digital, there's something about black that just makes it feel so permanent.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I would rather make sure that everything's refined first with like more subtle, less obtrusive colors before going into the final.
Yeah.
Final pick.
Siobhan is from Dublin. Shireen is from Jamaica. Heather, welcome back. I'm glad you submitted for the challenge, and make sure you submit your portfolio for review. We'll be choosing 2 portfolios and we'll be reviewing them towards the end of this segment. Arturo from Salt Lake City, Anna from Germany, Andres from Colombia. Hi Randall. Hi Kevin. Hi Dewey from Mississippi. Paolo says, you can also improve your language speaking skills by watching a good TV series.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be telenovelas for sure. The reason why I said telenovelas is that they enunciate so well, like it's so clear and
they're
distinct.
so dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
not that I'd want to speak that way normally, but
Yeah.
I find it easier to hear it. Sure.
That's true.
But no, good point.
That
a good
or
point.
like a children's series, they enunciate more.
Yeah, children's series will work too. I have no problem watching that actually as well.
Hi Olivier from Canada. Daryl says, can you explain how to import Kyle's brushes into Sketch? So it's really easy actually.
It's very easy. So I'll show you exactly how I do it, which is, I'm glad you reminded me of that because I was meaning to show you guys this yesterday. So if we were to go to the laptop real quick, so I'll show you guys how to import your Photoshop brushes into
Curve's laptop.
into Sketch. So now, let me see if I remember this exactly. So yeah, so I have my brushes here, right? So let's say I want to import, so I have like this thing called like general brushes. So in here, I just select all the brushes that I want. Let's say I want, let's say we want like these 4, for example. Now with this menu on the right, export selected brushes. And then I'm just gonna export it to my desktop. So I'll just call it test brush for now. And it saves it as a ABR file, which is like the brush like file name, I guess. Okay, so if I go to my desktop, there is the ABR file right there. And then all you have to do is, I like to airdrop it. So I pick share, airdrop, and then I just pick my iPad. So yeah, I'll put the iPad here. Then, if you go to the iPad, it starts loading the brushes already. So yeah, so as soon as you do it, it just automatically recognizes that it's a Photoshop brush and it just loads it to the brushes. You hit done, and then to access those brushes,
long press
on one of the brushes, or hit like the plus sign as well, and then you see test brush right there. It'll automatically have it selected.
There's another way. You can just click add, and then you import from your assets.
From assets. Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but your way is cool too, because
yeah,
when you're importing from assets, you might have a lot of different assets, and you might lose them. Or brushes, there's so many brushes, and you might forget, like, what name was it? So
yeah, so this automatically like cuts all that if you want to do it that way, and then it just automatically sets it to Sketch, which is cool.
Yeah.
Very useful trick. Yeah.
So Paolo says that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's actually really useful, especially if you have brushes that you're already used to using. It's nice to know that they're useless, that they're not useless on here. You know, you can still use them.
Hi, Stefa. Thanks, Tim, for putting that link in. There's a YouTube link for how to import your brushes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to be floating in the lake earlier.
In the lake?
On your desktop, I was floating in the lake. I definitely needed a green outfit so I could float in there. Daryl, yeah, how many brushes do you use?
My brush selection is very limited. Right now, I kind of keep it, because I'm not like I don't do like hyper-realistic painting or any form of painting whatsoever. It's just like flat sort of cell shading. So my brush selection, right now I'm using Kyle Webster's manga brushes. And my brush selection tends to be like limited to about maybe 4 different brushes, maybe. So like I have the pencils, and then I have like my anchor brush, which is right now just a manga basic brush that I'm using now. And then maybe I'll have a halftone if I want to put halftone on there. And then there's, for like coloring it in, I'll just use like a typical sort of default sketch brush, like one of the default round tip brushes, like one of these here. What's this one called? The sketch brush, like the ink pen. I like using that for coloring in stuff. And then like when I want to do like my sort of block brushes, I'll use the whatchamacallit, ink marker, which is quite nice. It has like a nice sort of like traditional brush texture to it, which I like to use in certain parts of my illustrations sometimes.
Great. Daryl says, I downloaded all the packs to play around with.
Yeah.
That's a lot of brushes.
That's a lot of brushes. I did the same thing just to see what was out there, and I've barely scratched the surface. Once I discovered the manga brushes, I haven't really bothered looking into other ones, but there's plenty of options to choose from Kyle's stuff.
Hi, Paula. Welcome. So, can you guys guess what the Chat and Win prize is? This is the back of it. What do you think is on the front? Let me know. And in 10 minutes, you'll be able to join the chat to win it.
Exciting. Get ready, guys.
MJ says, have you ever drawn Beyonce before?
What a random question.
He
but
said
yes,
it's a
I have.
silly question.
I have had to.
Really?
For work, yeah. We did a project at Vault 49. It was for, what's that speaker system that, Sonos. It was for a Sonos project because they did something with the Grammys, and we had to create illustrations for each of the candidates, each of the nominees.
Awesome.
So I got Beyonce and Sam Smith. Beyonce, Sam Smith. I had to do illustrations for both of them, and we had to illustrate directly on the speakers themselves. Whoa, pretty sure it's on our Behance. If you go to Vault 49's Behance just type vault49, /vault49 after behance.net, and you should be able to see it. It was fun, but yeah, I had to draw her legs. I just drew like her legs because like one of the things that she's known for is like her dance moves and like her strong movements.
Oh, so it wasn't her face.
It wasn't her face, just like her, totally just like her legs and like her
That's so
dancing,
cool.
all of her dance steps in her legs. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, a lot of you guessed it. It's not a sponge. It is a Photoshop pillow. So this will be a great thing to win. It's very soft. You can use it as a pillow or a friend. It can keep you company. Jonas was asking a legitimate question.
Legitimate.
He asked, it's past now, but I remembered it. He asked if you use the same size brush or do you change it as you're working?
I'll use the same size brush for most of the line work, like the inner line work, and then when I'm building up the sort of depth of the line work, then I'll change the thickness a bit. But for now, I'll just lay it down with like a single thickness, and I'll use the brush pressures to like kind of vary that thickness up as I go along.
Okay.
And then once all that's done, I'll go over it again with like a thicker brush to add value, and that's it.
Good answer. Oh, everyone's going crazy for the pillow.
Saving the best for last, for the gifts.
Hey, Monica. Oh, Monica wants the same pillow for Illustrator. I have a feeling that exists. Maybe if you join more Adobe live streams, it might come up. Paula says, how do you quickly fill in your line work with color?
See, that's another good question, and that's one that I'll cover later on. But what I like to do is, I like to go into Draw, because Draw has better color capabilities than Sketch. So I'll do my line work, I'll go into Draw, and then in Draw, you can create like an overall shape, tap in the middle, and it'll automatically fill it as long as the boundary is closed. You'll see that later, but that's typically how I do it. Like, Sketch has one thing that it does where you could kind of, there's two things you can do with Sketch, which is like, it's okay, but I think Draw is still a bit more superior when it comes to coloring. So when you have a blank canvas, and I wanted to fill it all with color, you can just, if you haven't drawn anything in it, you can just tap it and hold it, and it'll fill the canvas with color. And then like you can go in with an eraser and like erase away what you don't want. Another thing you can do is if you have a shape, like if you've drawn like a certain, like if you draw something, right, and then you want to change the color, but without having to worry about going outside the boundaries, you can paint inside. And then what paint inside does, it literally is exactly how it's described. Like it paints inside the shape that you created. So that's like another color feature in Sketch. But in terms of like if I were to like trace the face, I wouldn't be able to fill it in necessarily. That's why I go into Draw, because it tends to be more superior that way.
Olivier says, really nice sketches.
Thank you.
Hey, Freudy. Am I pronouncing it right? Because I'm asking the stream.
Oh.
The chat.
I would say is it fruity?
Or is it fruity?
Fruity.
I'm just going by Freud, which...
Freud, yeah, that might be better.
Oh yeah, I'm right. Yay! Because I said your name so many times yesterday, I want to make sure. Massimiliano says, the project Aquage from Vault 49 is amazing.
Oh yeah, that's a deep cut. That's an old piece. We did like some pitch work for, I forget what it was, if it was like a hair product or something. Just like a series of different sort of, I'll happily show you guys actually. I'm on the desktop here. I'll go into Vaults. Oh, you don't want that.
No Gmail.
No Gmail. There we go. Let's see, Vault 49. Let's go to behance.net. Vault 49. Yeah, so yeah, be sure to check out our work on here. You guys can definitely check out some of the stuff in my back catalogs. But the project this person was talking about is, there it is. Yeah, it's just like a really cool sort of surrealistic 3D experiment that we did way back in the day. It was a lot of fun. The project, unfortunately, didn't really go anywhere necessarily. The client decided to go in a different direction, but it was still a really, really fun exploration into sort of like surrealistic 3D treatment, which is pretty cool.
So all of the hats and
everything
chairs.
was 3D. Like,
wow.
Everything was 3D. The only thing photographic was the models, and even they were slightly retouched to kind of fit the sort of surrealistic approach. Like, for example, you can see, like, you can't see the other leg, for example. Like, that was kind of photoshopped out to kind of make it feel like it's perfectly, like, there's no other side, which is physically impossible in photography. Like, you'll always see, like, two sides of the person. But
yeah, you should have two hands.
Yeah, but no, it was a really sweet project. Yeah, there's a lot of, like, really fun stuff. I highly recommend you guys check it out. Yeah.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
YouTube? No, we have a Vimeo, but we don't have a YouTube channel as of yet. That's definitely something that maybe we'll go into in the future. We'll see.
Or you yourself.
I myself
I think that's what Ismail is asking.
I have a YouTube account, but I do not post anything on it.
This is like something that I would do only after the fact, like showing my process like this. Like, I'll do the time lapses and stuff like that. But I've never tried to do stuff like this while I'm like drawing live. But hey, maybe this is turning over a new leaf. Maybe I'll start doing that more.
Would you want to see Kervin drawing live on a YouTube channel or sharing his tips on YouTube? Would you subscribe?
Yeah.
Let us know. Paula says a YouTube channel would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I'll look into that then. See what I can do.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Sure. Yes. Count me in. Okay. Well.
You know what I
see? Have some followers already.
Yes. I'm making it.
Sean is going to be there. Jose, Ismail, Vicente, Elizabeth, Shireen, Arturo, Amanda, Olivier.
You know what I noticed, actually? I've noticed a lot of artists using Instagram Live
to do their stuff too, which might make more sense for me since I already have a following on there.
That's true.
So I could probably, do something on
Instagram Live, like every once in a while, just like.
There's a lot of people that started out doing that and then did a YouTube channel when the video got to take off.
Right. Yeah.
Did you use the pencil brush for the red lines?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, just the default sketch brush here. I have like a blue and a red as well. Oops.
So in a little less than 2 minutes, we're going to start the chat and win. And when that video comes up and you're active in the chat, you'll be in the running to win the plushie pillow. So you'll see that video come up soon. But at the moment, your chatting doesn't put you in the running before the video comes, but you can still chat to us and ask us more questions.
Yeah.
Amanda says you could easily get your Instagram followers to follow you on YouTube. Yeah. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, I definitely am. I also notice a lot of artists using like Patreon or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
I've never really been on the site itself, but I see that's getting a lot of popularity too.
So that's a way for people to support you financially when you launch a Patreon.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Patreon, yeah.
Yeah. What did someone ask about layers? How do you make a new layer in Photoshop? Do you mean in Sketch where we are right now?
Yeah, in Sketch,
it's really easy.
It's just about, if you look to the right on the layer stack, you just press this plus option here. And then you could make a sketch layer or an image layer. The difference being the image layer is literally what it sounds like. You can input like a photo. You can input something from Adobe Stock, which is how we did the first piece, right? You could also take a photograph on the fly and bring that photo into...
I gotta stop you. 5 more seconds.
All right, here we go.
For chat and win. The
Here
video's
go,
coming up now. So start chatting soon. Okay, thanks for being active in the chat. So we're gonna randomly pick a winner for this pillow, and I'll be announcing that in a minute. Everyone's very excited for this. And honestly, it's one of the softest pillows ever. It's a perfect size.
Wow, that's quite
you
a statement.
feel
No, never. Oh yeah, you guys want this. Yeah, this is nice. Look, this is for you. This is for people at work. Watch, they're gonna make a gift for this right now. Here we go. Yeah. Get a pillow in Kervin's DNA for free.
It's worth so much more now that you touched it. Hey, Brian. Hey, Van. Van says pillow.
Sounds like you said the soccer player for a second. Pirlo.
There's someone named Kerwin with a W.
In the chat?
Yeah.
What's up?
Kerwin Simeus.
That's what's up.
Kerwin, where are you from?
Yeah.
Let us know because we need to know where the name comes from.
You know, Kerwin is actually more of a common name, I've realized. I'm not sure why, because especially when I speak to slightly older folks, they'll assume my name is Kerwin, not Kervin.
Okay.
So I'm guessing Kerwin is a much more popular iteration of that Kevin twist.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, Kerwin did ask a question and said, what was your biggest hurdle moving from traditional media to drawing on a tablet?
I think it's a good question because my first experience working on tablet was actually on a Wacom tablet, like an Intuos, and that was weird because it kind of felt like a video game. Like you couldn't look at your hands to see what you were drawing. You had to look at the screen and coordinate. So it felt more video gamey than actually drawing in a way. So that was a weird transition. But then actually, if I were to do the jump from like paper to this, I feel like the only discrepancy that felt weird is the texture of drawing on glass. So that's why sometimes a lot of people would cover that with like a matte finish that has like a rougher feel to it to make it feel a bit more traditional.
Yeah. Kerwin said he's Haitian.
Oh, sac up fit. Sac passe.
Okay, we have a winner for this pillow. It's Paulo Diaz. Congratulations, Paulo. Yay. Good job. You were active in the chat, and now you have an amazing little fluffy plush pillow that will remind you of a great Adobe app.
Kerwin says everyone calls him Kervin by accident, that's funny. A little bit of a role reversal there.
Yeah.
I should have known from the last name too that you were Haitian, man.
Well, you have a lot going on right now.
Yeah, this is true.
Congrats, Paolo. Ooh, he says one of my favorites. Yay. So now the next thing to look forward to is the portfolio submission.
Yes.
So please submit your portfolio using the portfolio review tab at the top of the chat. It'll give you the details, and towards the end of this segment, in less than an hour, we'll review 2 portfolios, and that'll be really valuable. We'll give you feedback on how to present yourself on Behance, and we have someone who's really experienced not only with his own portfolio but through the agency that he works for, and I think you'll get some really good tips. So hoping to see a lot of you submit. What did you say to Kerwin when you said?
I'll just say, what's up? How's it going?
How do you say it?
You can say sac passe, sac up fait. Like, ma boule is like, I'm hanging in there. I'm working hard.
Ma boule.
Yeah, ma boule.
Oh, ma boule.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like Creole is like,
French?
It's like a street slang French, and it borrows from a bunch of different languages because of colonization. So there's some African influences in there, obviously, for sure. And that's where I think a lot of the structure comes from. But then there's also a huge French influence as well because we're a French colony.
Do you speak French too?
A little bit. Not as much as I wish I could.
Yeah.
I did take French for 4 years in high school, and I just never had the opportunity to use it.
I did too. 4 years in high school, exactly.
Yeah, and like I wish I was surrounded by people who spoke it because I would have been fluent by now. But it's great because it does come back to me. I have there's actually we had a lot of French designers coming through Vault. So whenever I hear them speak, if I'm immersed in it long enough, I start to understand what they're saying, which is fun.
Nathan says, do you ever feel like drawing smooth lines is more difficult in Sketch as opposed to Draw, which has a smoothing feature?
Yeah, for sure. It's just the vector, and I think that's another reason why I kind of like doing my black line work in Sketch. It kind of feels more natural. Like I said, I talked about yesterday how the line fidelity feels a bit better to me, and so I tend to do my lines in there and then go into Draw. That being said, Draw's line work is great. That's how I did most of my line work back in the day before I got into these mobile apps, was I would go into Illustrator and just like with my Wacom just draw with like the pen tool or with the pencil tool as well. So.
Yeah. Okay, so Kevin has a question. How do you present a concept to convey the idea before you even start executing it?
How do you convey?
So maybe when you have a client who asks you for something and you haven't really, like, you don't want to draw the thing before they even approve it. So what do you do to present your concept? Do you do a really rough sketch?
Mood board. A mood board definitely helps. This is something that I definitely think is a super useful thing to do. Because what's nice about mood boarding is you kind of see what's done, as what's been done already, and then it allows you to kind of question those conventions and kind of see where you can take the work. But then it also initiates the conversation of, okay, this is what we like, this is what we don't like, this is what's working, and why. And then you can start to collate and kind of start to suss out, especially if you don't have a solid brief aesthetically. A mood board is a really good way to do it. And that can take shape of anything. Maybe it's a Pinterest, maybe it's a blog on Tumblr, maybe it's just something that you pull together in InDesign and print it out in a PDF to show a client. It really just depends on what your preference is, but mood boarding is really nice. And then if you can bolster that with like a rough sketch, then great, but sometimes people just get it immediately with just a few reference images.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Mood boards are a great tool, yeah. I've never created one, but I think I need to.
They're fun to do, because I even just do it for myself as well. If you guys follow my Instagram, you'll notice that sometimes I'll post like
inspiration images and link to a website, so it really just, it's like a nice way to like let people in on where my headspace is, especially for my next line of work, like, and I'll post like a lot of fashion references, photography, illustration, of course, but then also like a lot of stuff that I typically don't do, like a lot of like really hardboiled graphic design treatments, nice bold lettering, crisp solid geometric colors and compositions, because a lot of that stuff can play into how I compose my own illustrations as well. It's not just like looking at like the great illustrators and comic book artists. Like I also like looking at graphic designers to solve like nice bold compositions.
Paula says, my art and photography board in Pinterest would probably be my mood board.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
You can draw from that. Ankita says, how do you manage to get a personal touch to your work when there's so many people out there trying a similar style?
You know, there's no short way to go about. There's no like quick way to go about it.
When you're just starting out, you can't help but imitate. I feel like unless you're a prodigy, you're going to draw influence from something, and that's okay. You have to be okay with that. You have to recognize that that's what you're doing, because ultimately, as you keep working through, you'll reach like a personal sort of like enlightenment, I guess, so to speak, where you'll be like, oh, like if I mix these parts together, like maybe I can create something different from this.
Yeah.
So it's really, you just do it through like experimentation, constantly working at it, and then eventually, you know, you'll come up with your own take on things. I think what's really important that people don't understand about coming up with your own style, so to speak, is that you have to be involved in the conversation first. Like you have to make an effort. It doesn't just come from like this mathematical solution.
Yeah.
It's all about practice. And also putting yourself out there, like not working in the bubble, I think also helps too. Like letting people feedback on your work, constructive feedback, and just soaking that in and then allowing that to sort of mold how you traverse through this industry and through your practice.
Great answer. Even the studio manager agrees. How do you fight off art blocks? or mind
Take a
mental
break.
blocks?
Take a break. Like when a block hits and you're getting frustrated and you keep crumpling pieces of paper or like hitting undo, like it's just time to just walk away, try something else, listen to music. If you're into making music, maybe do that. I, for example, like to DJ, so I'll like do like a mix or like I'll just listen to music forever and ever. Maybe watch a movie. Some kind of escapism has always helped to reset the mind, I think. And the block can take a while. Like you have to just let it run its course, and then it'll come back. Like you'll hit an aha moment and be like, yeah, I feel like working again. Jose, I work at Vault 49, so that's the company that I work at. My Instagram, my Behance is Brisseaux, my last name. He's like, yeah, you can say it that way. Yes, I am Vault 49.
Is that your life?
Well, during the day, yeah. This is what I do. That's the day job. We put on the superhero capes and we go out and we save the world. And then at night, I do my own little side hustle.
Yeah. Hi, Carolina. Welcome. Jose, we can't hear the music that's playing. It's strictly for your ears and for your enjoyment. Brianna likes your work. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brianna. Thanks for joining. Have you ever done a gallery exhibit with all your pieces?
That is the very next step.
Chapter 1.
That would be awesome. Like that's why I kind of created it. Hey, what up, Vince? I think if that's the Vince I know I'm talking to. Yeah. That's something
I'm saying,
next.
I don't know who he is. I'm like, yeah, that's Vince.
That is something that I definitely want to do, is somewhere in New York. And I've been in talks with another buddy of mine who's a really talented artist named Andres Rivera. His name is Raccoon Nook. I'll be sure to send you guys something. Maybe you can check out his work too. He's really awesome. It's something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we both like think similarly in terms of like styles. So to have like a exhibition and like, yeah, what up, Vinny? To have something like that would be amazing, especially like in like the heart of Brooklyn or something like that. So we've been like brainstorming it for a while, and it's just about finding the right time to do it, because we're both just so busy, and it's like we just have to put time aside and just commit to it, and put money aside, invest in the space, and just have it happen. Because we already have an idea of how it's going to look, how it's going to feel, what the vibe is. It's just about getting the resources to execute it.
Joe says, I'll be there.
Nice.
All right. So Vince and Joe are going to be there. Got 2 people already. Paulo is asking if you ever use those half-hand gloves when you're drawing on the iPad.
I know what you're talking about. I used to use it in architecture, so like, because I was drawing on paper. But because it's digital, I'm not that sacred about it, so I'm not worried about smudging or anything like that.
Well, you can't smudge.
You can't smudge. You can't. It's impossible. You can't do it. Unless,
and it's really good at recognizing the pencil, right? Like.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about making like a big, like if I go like this right now, like it's not gonna do any mark whatsoever. It has to be like a fine point.
Yeah.
So it's really good at recognizing those differences.
It knows your palm.
Damn right.
Have you ever considered visiting colleges and talking to future artists?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do that a bit at Vault, actually. We'll like do little, like quick little like sort of portfolio reviews, seminars. Like not often, but we're trying to do more of that. And I actually used to teach when I was in architecture. I was a teaching assistant at Syracuse University for about 2 years, teaching like freshman architecture students under my professor. So I definitely have a knack for it in terms of like pedagogy, I guess. So I really would love to get back into it for sure.
Yeah, I could see you being a great teacher, very engaging.
Thank you.
Doug Lee says, I followed all your accounts.
Oh,
Great.
Awesome.
Is there a specific architect that influences some of your work?
Yeah. Back when I studied architecture for sure, Neil Denari was one that I was really vibing with. He's like a modern architect. I say modern, not like modernist movement, but like contemporary architect.
because his illustrations were just amazing. Just how he would portray his elevations and his plans, just really bold, like very comic booky. Like that's how I would describe it. And he did a lot of 3-dimensional work too. Like did a lot of work in 3D. Back in the day, like you could look at Rem Koolhaas, of course. He had some really distinct theoretical work, theoretically dense work, but aesthetically amazing. Super Studio, an Italian studio, I think they were based in Florence back in like the 70s. Also theoretically dense, but I'm not sure if you guys ever seen like these random like gridded cubes that would appear in like natural environments. That was basically them. Like they did like all of these sort of sort of abstracted architectural structures that would take over different natural environments, and they would have like themes about it.
Cool.
Yeah, and one more, Archigram. Archigram was a big influence too. Some of these guys were kind of like paper architects, but in terms of theory, they were a big influence in like sort of the architectural movement. Yeah.
Cool. Paula wants you to come to East Carolina this coming year.
Done. Hit me up. Make it happen. I would gladly come
Get
down.
in touch. He can't commit right now because he's busy right now, but if you get in touch and give him more details. So today, Gabriel, we're doing the portfolio reviews. So submit your portfolio on Behance to get the chance to have it live in front of all your peers and have Kervin give you his feedback. It's a great opportunity. We'll be reviewing 2 portfolios in this segment, and this will continue throughout the day. So I want to see everyone submitting, and if you don't see it come up in our stream, you're going to have to submit it again. So go through the form again for it to be eligible to come up on the next stream.
Yeah.
Paula says you can come to Portugal and stay at his place
Done.
whenever you want to visit. Kevin says your work is like Roy Lichtenstein with a modern twist.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting take. Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard of that comparison. Cool.
Sarah says this guy is very cool.
Thanks, Sarah.
This guy? Jose says, can't believe how flawlessly you work in Sketch. It's actually, I mean, he's very talented, but I feel like it's so easy.
Yeah. It's very comfortable.
Like it's a very comfortable program to work in.
You should definitely try it, Jose.
Yeah, try it out, man. Absolutely. Like it's I think you'll feel right at home.
Sean has a deep question. Is it ever too late to change a career to a creative one? I've always wanted to go full-time creative, but it's hard to change from the reliability of a 9-to-5.
Well, I mean, you can be a creative and still have a 9-to-5.
My job technically is a 9-to-5, and it's super creative.
Yeah.
It's not too late. I am a proud sponsor of the idea that it's not too late. If you guys remember my story from like 2 days ago, I was an architect. I was en route to be an architect.
Yeah.
For 8 years, I studied architecture, and I didn't really do the full switch to illustration until after the fact. So, no, it's never too late. It's never too late. You'll definitely find your way in, for sure. For me, I realized that I wouldn't necessarily have too much of a trouble transitioning from architecture because, number one, it is design-based already, and number two, I was already doing small freelance projects on the side while I was still doing my studies, and I was always into illustration, so there was never a point where I was just like, oh, maybe I should, I feel like I have to start totally over. That was never the case. Yeah, no, you can totally do it, man. If you're thinking about it, just do it.
Sasha says, since we're inviting, I invite you guys to come to Angola. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. That's cool.
Sweet.
Good to know. We have friends all over the world that we can visit. Nayan is asking if Sketch has a smoothing feature that was recently introduced in Photoshop, like the drag smoothing for people with shaky hands.
Oh, interesting. No, I'm not familiar. I have no idea.
In the brush settings, is there something that, like...
I don't know, they have like, let's see, size, pressure, flow, scatter, direction, angle. I don't see necessarily anything tying with smoothing itself.
Yeah.
I think for me, I kind of like that I don't have it because you just train your hand. Even if you have a shaky hand, you can always train your hand to like get steady. The more you do it, it just becomes second nature. I think it's like a mind over matter kind of thing too. Like you just become less self-conscious of the line, and so naturalistically your hand just starts to become more relaxed.
Yeah.
So if you can do it without the smoothing feature, I think ultimately you're better off, because then even when it comes to drawing on paper, like you won't have a smoothing feature, right? You'll still have to make do without it. So.
And you can always erase things.
Yeah, you can always erase if you're that shaky. Yeah, that's why I like doing things in pencil first.
How many hours do you usually take to do something like this when you're not live?
So let's see. I've done pieces very quickly. Like I can do them in a matter of hours. But some pieces could take a couple days on and off, depending on like how ambitious it is and how much color I want to add to it. If I'm even happy with the direction that it's going, sometimes I have to start over. It really does depend. But like the quickest I've definitely done something like off on the fly, it's like maybe just a couple hours, and that's because like I knew exactly what I needed, how I needed it to look like, and so it's just like go from the moment I put the pencil down. So yeah.
What profession would you be in if the creative industry never existed?
We had this exact existential question at work the other day. Some people had good ones. I came to the conclusion that I would probably get into teaching, because like I was saying before, like I really enjoy actually teaching what I love to do, and like doing that might be the direction I would go. Would be like teaching young minds. What subject it would be if it wasn't creative? I don't know. Probably something like literature or something like that, or history. I say that kind of ironically because growing up, I didn't really enjoy reading that much.
Yeah.
Like I was definitely not much of a reader, and it drove my parents crazy. My brother was the reader. He could read like a book a minute, but I have a newfound love for reading. I'm actually really into reading autobiographies of all things. Like I'm really enjoying autobiographies. So like I recently read Malcolm X, story of Malcolm X according to Alex Haley. What else did I read? I read the Elon Musk biography as well. A few other things. So I like reading more factual things, stuff that's like informative.
Have you read the Hamilton biography?
No, I haven't.
That inspired Lin-Manuel to write the musical.
No, is that a good one?
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Should read that. So what else? Paula is asking if these symbols in your artwork mean anything.
Oh yeah, we had this talk the other day. So if you call like, in comics, whenever like an expletive is being said, like they'll replace it with little symbols. So that's where the idea first started. They're not necessarily saying expletives, but I kind of like the idea of like creating these sort of suggestive symbols that are kind of open to interpretation. And in a way, I'm kind of creating my own language, so to speak, which is kind of cool. So there's no real like sort of way to determine what these characters are saying. You just know that there's some sort of communication going on. And as a result, as the viewer, especially if you look at my Brutisou one, there's a lot of that going on. You can start to maybe flesh out whatever the conversation might be in your own head, rather than me kind of dictating to you what it is. Another reason is just like I'm terrible with coming up with terms and slogans. Like there's people that are way better than me at that. In terms
like
of
Merbay?
Like Merbay. Like I would have never thought of that.
Where's Merbay?
I'm gonna put that in there. I gotta put that in there. Maybe I'll fit that in on her face mask. Like a little Merbay. Maybe on her hat I put Merbay on there. Yeah, that's totally something that that I do.
Credit to Patrick for the Merbay.
Yes,
line.
credit to Patrick for the Merbay for sure. I'm fitting that in there. Let me make a marker to remember that it's gonna probably be right here.
A little patch.
Little patch here, right there. Put like a little Merbay on it. I'll fill this in with black later.
Nice. Do you have a design mentor?
A mentor, like someone that I go to specifically? Nah, like, I mean, I kind of hold my bosses with high respect. So, like, the people I work with. Yeah, the founders. But besides that, I don't really have, like, a direct mentor necessarily in this industry. I did have in architecture, when I had my thesis, like, there were a couple of professors that I looked up to and I spoke to.
But because I didn't go to school for this specifically,
Yeah.
which is typically where your mentors would come from, is like from a classroom. No, I don't really have one. One guy that I'm following very closely, oh man, now his name escapes me, but he does like a lot of online classes, and that's where I kind of started learning how to draw again, just like learning the basics. It's called the Masters Academy, and if Kyle's on here, he would know who I'm talking about. I think his name is Steve Huston, something like that. He does these really amazing sort of lectures in anatomy, how to draw the face, how to draw the body, like composition, things of that sort. So I've been really studying his stuff, and it's been helping me with my work.
Hola, Chris.
Let's see how this is looking. Yeah, it's looking all right so far.
If I do say so myself.
If I do say so myself.
Boxing paintings.
Yeah, he does.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, they're talking about Steve. Yeah, he does like these amazing boxing paintings and a lot of like emotion, things of that sort. Like
Yeah.
it's really, really cool. Really cool. And very energetic too, very raw. Someone had another question on there about clothing or fabric.
Yeah. Paula asked, how do you know how to do the fabric in clothes, making it look natural?
Oh, like sort of like the wrinkles and like the depressions and stuff like that. That just comes with practice too. Like look at just photographs of how clothes work on people and then just like try to copy it, imitate it. And then after a while you won't need to look at that anymore. Like I'll need to look at references of like anatomy and how people move and like animals, stuff like that. But when it comes to like clothing, you know, when you do it enough, it's like, it just becomes second nature.
Yeah.
It'll start to feel natural. And there's a lot of things like you can kind of like fudge as well. Like no one's gonna question, hey, does that wrinkle look correct? Like typically, like,
Yeah.
like there's certain things that people won't catch right
Yeah, like
away
a person's hand can't bend
a certain
an
way.
opposite way,
or,
but a
like,
jacket is more flexible.
yeah, there's more flexibility. There's certain things you can do to make it look how you want it to look.
So Jose is asking what size of iPad you recommend. What size are you using now?
This is the iPad Pro, the bigger one. This is like the 12.1, I think. I can't remember what that diagonal is, but it's the larger of, because like there's two versions of the iPad Pro now. This is a big one, and then there's the one that's slightly smaller. I use the big one.
Oh, he says, I'm at the Apple page about to buy one.
Oh, going for it.
Yeah.
Let's do
And
it.
so Jose said he doesn't want the screen too small, and then Tim is like, how tall are you? I guess it does make a difference if you're really tall and like
I guess
your
if you
hand
have like
takes
a
up the
large
whole
upper
screen.
body. Maybe that might be an issue, I guess.
Do I need a huge one because I'm tall? I need it to be like this big. Oh, Dewey says, when I bought my iPad, I wasn't sure if I'd like the larger one. I took the chance, bought the larger, and I've never regretted it. That's a good testimonial.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom from Miami Beach. Hi, Ryan. So if any others are joining now, make sure you check out the portfolio review tab at the top of the chat, and you have an opportunity to share your portfolio with us. We'll be reviewing 2 Behance portfolios at the end of this segment, not at the end, but in half an hour. And you'll be able to get some great feedback and show your peers your profile. Who knows how many people you'll expose it to by sharing it in our live stream. So you have 30 minutes and 36 seconds to submit through the link.
Time is flying.
Yeah. Tim is 6'8". Wow, I had no idea.
8. Damn.
You don't look tall on the chat.
Yeah.
You're right. If you're tall, you need a bigger screen.
This is true. My brother's like 6'6". He's got a lot of friends that are about 6'8" though, like all basketball players and athletes and stuff.
Is it just you and your brother?
Just me and my brother, yeah, that's it.
How did he end up so tall?
Our grandfather,
I mean,
our
you're
great
tall,
grandfather. But no, yeah, our
that's really tall.
Yeah, he's really tall. I think my grandfather, my great grandfather was like 7 foot.
Wow.
So that's where that came from. I think it was on I
can't tell. I think it was on my mom's side.
Do you enjoy using brush pens when you're working on paper?
Yeah, I think brush pens are pretty cool. I dabble with them every once in a while in my sketchbooks and stuff.
That's from Nathan. Is there any brand that you use?
The one I have at home, it's like a Faber-Castell, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know which one.
Yeah, that's
The
probably the
Pitt
more popular
pen?
one. Yeah, something like that. Actually, I think I have it with me, but my bag's over there. Yeah, those are the only ones that I have experience with. There's other ones I know that are, I'm sure, that are superior.
Yeah, there's like the Japanese ones.
Yeah.
There's Tombow. Ooh, good question, Vince. Who's your dream client? Anyone like Pixar, Nintendo, Ferrari?
Oh man. You know what? The more I work in the industry, the more I'm kind of hesitant to work with like clients that have an established aesthetic.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, that would be awesome to work for something like Nintendo or like a Nike. But it's like
They would be like, oh no, you can't use that
yeah,
color
there's like
or
a certain thing, like there's a brand guideline. It's like, so I think my dream client is someone that's trying to build themselves from the ground up. That they have a great budget, and it's like then there's an opportunity for you to kind of architect the whole brand.
That truly is a dream because it's like
Yeah.
someone who's just starting but has a lot of money.
Right? Has a lot of money to play and then bestows upon you the responsibility of building
Yeah.
their brand up. Like, that would be amazing.
Okay, you got a good answer, Vince. Shake used the brushes yesterday. Which brushes, Shake? On sketch or on paper? Nathan says the Pentel pocket brush is great.
Oh yeah, Pentel. Yeah,
That's a good one. I
that is
forgot
a good
about
one.
Pentel. Wayne Smith, totally agree with that. More money, more restrictions. Sometimes that's true.
It is. That being said, I definitely do enjoy working for like really fun sports brands, stuff like that. Brands that are kind of that are not afraid to go off the beaten path, that are like willing to experiment. And there's
Yeah.
definitely certain brands that do a better job at that than others, for sure.
Would you? Oh, Kiva says this dream client won the lottery. Yeah, so it's like some brand that won the lottery and now they could pay you.
Yeah, exactly.
Brianna, Kervin's family is Haitian, so that's how he knows Creole. She's asking. She heard you
Yeah.
mention it earlier.
Yeah.
You should keep saying Creole things because it's really cool.
Yeah, just like, that'll do my parents proud, just hearing me speak Creole all day.
Can you do a good accent?
Well, like a Haitian accent,
Yeah.
like my father.
Yeah. That's how I do a Greek accent. I just pretend I'm my dad.
You know what's funny about my father? My father speaks perfect English.
Like, absolutely perfect. But his laziness, he doesn't like using particular articles, like certain grammatical errors. He'll just do it on purpose, just out of laziness. I can't tap into that right now, but if I can, I'll demonstrate. It's pretty funny.
That's funny.
Because he learned English before my mom did. I told you before, like, my mom learned English watching soaps and whatnot.
Yeah.
But he learned it on his own because he came to this country first, and he was a truck driver for like a few years. And just perfect vocabulary, but it's just lazy to like use it properly. It's just as simple as that. I don't know why.
Sometimes I'm lazy. Vince says Caitranada is Haitian.
Kitchenada's Haitian.
Caitranada.
Kitchenada is Haitian. The Fugees, Wyclef Jean, he's
Oh.
Haitian. There's actually quite a few Haitian artists out there. Some basketball players as well. I think Shaq is like half Haitian or something like that. We're out there, man. We are out
Yeah.
there. We just, people just seem to sleep on us. It's just like, nah, man.
And
we're
in the
around.
East Coast, so much more than here. Like, I've spent some time in Boston, met a lot of Haitians.
Yeah. We
New
tend to
York.
not go west. We tend to stay like
Yeah.
Miami, all along the East Coast, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, New York is big. And then other parts of the tri-state area. And then Canada, like Montreal, Quebec. I have a lot of family in Montreal.
I just booked flights. I'm going to Montreal end of June. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd
Who's
be-
from Montreal in the chat? Where should I go? Hi, Mel. Kerwin says Pierre Garçon is also Haitian. Who's Pierre?
Which one is that again? Pierre Garçon.
Pierre Garçon.
It sounds so familiar, but now I can't remember. Jimmy Jean-Louis is also Haitian. You ever watch that TV show Heroes?
Yeah.
He was called the Haitian.
Oh.
Like, basically, he was able to like wipe people's minds and stuff. That was probably the first Haitian actor I immediately recognized was Haitian on like primetime television.
Oh, cool.
On like a big hit TV show. And I'm sure there's others that I'm forgetting. But yeah, like.
I love that when there's a star that's from the same place as you, you immediately love them.
Yeah,
whatever
it's
they
just
do.
Like, you got respect. I was like, yo, what's up?
Oh, Pierre played for the Giants, now plays for the 49ers.
That's it.
Oh,
okay.
then I should know who that is, because those are my sports teams. Mel says, you're live in my Photoshop class. No pressure.
Uh-oh.
Should we say a special hello?
Photoshop, yeah.
Hi, class.
Hello, and to the professor or the teacher, whoever you are, give them all A's. They deserve it.
They're learning so much right now. They're going to be equipped for life.
Yes. Just let them graduate. They're done. That's it. No more education needed.
JPP. Who's that? Everyone's just throwing out names. I don't know who they are, but I'm guessing they're Haitian people.
Oh, JPP, yeah, I have no idea. Oh, Michael Brun is another one. He's like a big shot DJ and producer. He recently did something with this guy named Blavin, like he's doing something for the World Cup as well. Like
Where's the World Cup?
it's in Russia this year, I think. Yeah.
Oh, it's this year?
Yeah, it's this year. It's a big year. It's a World Cup year.
Oh.
Hedging bets. Who's betting on what? Like who's hoping someone wins? I'm hoping that Brazil makes a comeback, but that's just me. Anyone got a favorite team that they're hoping to go all the way?
God, remember Brazil last time?
Ooh, I try not to remember.
That was brutal.
I try not to remember that. That's that was a dark time.
Does everyone remember where they were when they watched
when
that
that
game?
happened? Yeah, I remember.
I remember being where I was at this bar, and it was my friend's birthday, and I was like helping organize stuff, so I couldn't watch the whole time, and I kept going outside to where the birthday was and coming back in the bar and being like, there's 5 more goals? There's 2 more goals.
Dude, it was so. I remember that year, because my fiance is not really into soccer.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? It's a World Cup year. This is the year I'm going to convert you. You're going to love it. You're going to see Brazil play. They're amazing.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. And the first game, it was like kind of underwhelming. They did all right. She was like, okay, whatever. And then I showed them the game against Germany. And she was just like, they're terrible. I was like, no, they're not. They're usually much better than this. But it was, oh man, that was a dark time.
Yeah, poor Brazil. But if you were German, you were probably like...
Oh, yeah. But you know what? Respect to the Germans, man. They did not rub it in at all. Like, they were super respectful to them after that.
Yeah.
Humiliating loss.
Yeah, I think it was so... Like, if it was 2 goals, 3, like, okay.
Yeah. But man,
Then 4, 5... Was it 7?
it was 7-0.
4, 5, 6,
Was it 7-0 or 7-1? I can't remember.
What was the scores? Let us know, because you guys remember better.
I want to say it was 7-1 because I hope they had a consolation goal in there somewhere, but it might have been 7-0.
Anna says she was partying, so Anna's German, I'm guessing.
As you
Siobhan
should.
says there were a lot of Brazilians in Dublin, and you could hear the sad noises all across the city with each goal.
I mean, I haven't seen
Can you
Brazil.
imagine being in Brazil?
Dude, I haven't seen Brazilians that sad that day since they lost to France in the World Cup in '98, 3-0. That was a controversial one too because Ronaldo was sick for some reason, and like he was off the list, and he put him back on, but he wasn't able to perform, and it was just like, man, it was a sad time. Like seeing all those tears on TV was crazy.
Tim says it was 7-1.
So okay, so
And
they
Tim's
had one
German
goal.
too, so he remembers how
Yeah.
many goals they got.
Oh my god, man, that was amazing. I mean, the German team was so well oiled. Like
Yeah.
they were so good.
I feel like once you reach a threshold 2, like once you've put 5 goals in, it's like, okay,
I know.
this is just so tragic.
It's like why bother?
2 more, it's like not a big
I mean,
deal.
it's getting to the point where the Champions League is getting a bit more exciting now when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, my dad is very excited about that stuff.
Yeah.
He tells me, what was the team that he's not gonna be proud that I don't remember. But there was a British team that had a crazy rise.
Well, I mean, Liverpool made it to the Champions League final. If you're talking about them, they were kind of like considered a sleeping giant because they're definitely good, but they always seem to just miss the mark. My boss is a huge Liverpool fan. Oh my God, when there's a game going on, he's always making a riot.
Yeah. Steven says, Liverpool. Is there anyone from Liverpool? Okay, everyone, you have 19 minutes to submit your portfolio for review.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. Sean says, oh, Sean, are you from Madrid? Are you a big Real fan?
Real. You gotta give credit to Real,
Real.
man. I love, like, I'm not a Real fan necessarily, but I have so much respect on the roster of that team. Like, Zinedine Zidane, like, amazing. He had an amazing legacy, amazing coach. I have mad respect for Marcelo. I mean, come on, he's Brazilian. Who else is on there? You know, Cristiano Ronaldo. He gets bad at rap, but he's really good, man. Like, he's really, really good. But I'm more of a Messi fan, though. Sorry, guys.
I think Ronaldo just knows he's so good.
Yeah. The thing is, Messi knows he's good too, because if he didn't,
doesn't like.
It doesn't. He has more of a humility about it, about him for sure.
Like us, like we know we're amazing, but people still like us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're still likable.
Nah, but you know what it is? You know how I see Messi's hubris is his willingness to take on a whole team. Like, you wouldn't do that if you didn't have at least a little bit of hubris, right? But he doesn't, like, verbally talk about it.
Yeah.
That's the discrepancy.
Okay, so let's table the football / soccer for now, because it's going to get too controversial.
Here we go.
Let's answer some other questions.
Yes, I do have a Behance page, Jose. It's just my last name, Brisseaux, after the backslash. So, like, behance.net / Brisseaux. Yeah, there it is. Thanks, Tim.
Tim is always there with the links. Ankita is asking if you go directly digital or do you use paper for ideation?
Usually I just go directly to digital. I'll use paper for ideation sometimes if I have like an idea and I'm nowhere near my iPad or my computer. I have like a little sketchbook and I'll sketch stuff out very quickly. But most of the time I'll just go straight to digital and I just lay the pencils down on there.
There you go. Sean agrees about our opinions on Messi and Ronaldo.
Football talk never goes away. It'll keep coming up.
So when you're done with this black inking, are we going into draw?
Yeah, you know what? We can go into draw and like
and then get some colors from the chat.
Yeah, get some colors from the chat. I might do something similar to Birdie's do as well, and like maybe all the colors just on her skin and then on the cat and everything else is just in black and white, which is like an aesthetic that people seem to like.
Yeah.
Keeps it nice and bold and graphic.
Jose says, I'm in Jersey, but he spells it Jerzee, near New York. Will you be in NYC anytime soon for any exhibitions, Kervin?
Yeah, we talked about exhibitions earlier. I would love to do an exhibition, but I'm from NYC.
You will be in NYC.
Yeah, I'm from NYC, so I'm always there. But in terms of exhibitions, TBD, hopefully in the very, very near future.
TBD in NYC.
TBD in NYC.
KB. He says, your Nike Futura is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so check out his Behance portfolio so you can see all his work. Yeah. And we can't wait to see your Behance portfolio. Sean Kervin really wants to go to Japan. This has been brought up every day.
Yes, it's time. I think it's
Someone
time.
needs to take him to Japan.
Yeah. I feel like I'll just come back transformed, like just like a whole new person, enlightened of what I see out there.
Kervin's work is so ill. Salute. JP, Japan is amazing. Yeah, I haven't been either. Someone needs to take us in their suitcase. Or we're gonna go. Like, it'll happen.
Yeah.
But
It's only a matter
in
of
its
time.
own time.
It's been mentioned so much that it's bound to happen, right? Law of attraction. Like
It's just bound to.
Yeah.
Can't escape it now.
Wayne is going next month.
Oh, sick.
Where are you going?
Jealous.
Tokyo. It's on Paolo's bucket list. Freudy is gonna surf across the Pacific. Sounds
Sick.
great.
That sounds sick. Okay, let's
Best
see.
food ever. Oh, I can't wait.
All right, looks
Okay,
like
so
we're
what are you
almost there.
doing? Okay, you're still.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna go with this one. And just make my. Ooh, that's big. That's huge. Bring that down a little bit. Let's make my little box here. My nice little speech bubble.
Tokyo and Kyoto. Sounds good. 13 minutes to submit your portfolios for review.
Yes, do it. Don't be shy. Now is the time.
Love your take on folded apparel, says Jose. Very clever way to include an abstract feel.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, he's talking about my type piece that I did for 36 Days of Type. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Where I just like, I took photos of my sweater and like folded it in different letters. And like,
Oh.
and then I would trace it in artwork. It's on my Behance, if you guys want to check it out. It's just called Folded Apparel Type, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so now I am at a place with this where I think I can just start bringing this into draw and start like adding in the solid blacks and all that stuff too. So let's do that. I'm happy where this is at. If you guys think this is all right for now, I'm gonna move into draw and start like adding in the blacks and the colors, like the solid blacks and colors. What do you guys think?
Quick.
Hurry! There's only a certain amount of time. I'm gonna trust that you guys like it as is, and I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna bite the bullet. Yeah,
Paula, yes, that's fine if you submitted your portfolio today. Doesn't matter if it was before the countdown.
make sure I don't forget anything. I don't want to miss anything. Certain details here I don't want to lose.
Okay, getting all the details in. Oh yeah, the spiral in the eye.
Yeah.
That's very important.
Very important. Can't believe I almost forgot that one.
I always find that it's hard when I'm tracing something that was pencil. Once I take it off the pencil, I'm like, oh, I missed all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't see it because
Yeah.
it's kind of there.
It's really, yeah, it's like, yeah, it can be a bit. Or like, for some reason, I always have trouble, like, I'll draw a line and I'll try to trace over it. For some reason, I'm always like slightly off. I don't know why. It might be the digital thing, but it drives me nuts sometimes.
Okay, 10 minutes to submit your portfolio. What is the animal that you drew on here? Anna is asking.
It's just a panther.
A panther.
Yeah, just like a little panther. Little companion. As you guys know, I like to add like other sort of like animals and stuff in my illustrations because it's just like a nice little element to bring some more character to the piece. Yeah.
It'll be like anything realistic to something more fantastical, like a dragon or something like that. I've drawn like even like little like weird looking demons, things of that sort as well.
Siobhan says, I have to go. Oh no.
No, don't go.
We'll see you again soon if you have to go. Thanks for joining.
And let me add
piece de résistance, the Merbey, before I forget.
Any tips on figuring out how much detail is required for a piece or when you should leave it and let it be?
For me, it's like if I add anything to it and it's just starting to ruin it or clutter it, it's done.
You could walk away for a day, come back, and then you'll be like, oh, you know what, this might look good here. But typically, the former is usually a good rule of thumb to go by.
Chiraj is new here for the first time. Welcome! Is anyone else new? I know it's...
Boom.
Oh.
Merbey.
Perfect.
Merbey. Done. Mission accomplished.
I'm impressed with people who are new and write in the chat because sometimes it's, you know, you're a little shy.
Yeah,
but
it can be daunting. Yeah.
look at all these new people. Joe, No One Comics. Who is No One Comics? Very mysterious.
Yeah, very.
Enrique, Elizabeth. Thanks for saying hi to us. So we have about 40 minutes left of this segment and 8 minutes left for the portfolios. We'll review those portfolios and then we're going to get some feedback from you on what colors you want to see when we move into Draw.
Exactly. There it is.
Sean says if you ever put out an art book with your work and process, he would buy it ASAP.
You know what? That's another thing I wanted to. I wanted to like publish, like actually when I have enough body of work to actually put it all in like a nice book. I think that'd be kind of sweet.
Thomas just updated his portfolio and submitted it. Great.
Sweet.
It's also a great way to motivate you to update your portfolio because sometimes it just becomes a little stale and you don't have the motivation to work on it. But when you think like, oh, all these people might see it on the live, it gives you that push. Renee says, this is incredible. Thanks, Renee. I'm saying it on behalf of...
Oh, thank you.
I know you would say thank you.
All right, let's start adding some. Let's quickly start adding some black values into this. Let's start with the hair.
Okay, so we were in Photoshop Sketch, then we dragged and dropped the layers into Draw, and now we're going to add more outlines and then add color. Carlos loves the drag and drop.
Yeah. It is an awesome feature.
What advice would you give to young aspiring artists?
Young aspiring artists, don't be discouraged by your first attempts.
I feel like a lot of artists expect that things look good almost immediately.
Yeah.
And it will not be the case. I promise you, it will not be the case.
You just got to stick to your guns. If you're passionate about it, if it's all you can think about, keep doing it, keep practicing, keep trying it out. you'll make a breakthrough. And when you do, you'll pat yourself in the back for sticking with it.
So Chiraj, I'm not sure what you're asking, but we're on the iPad right now. Ooh, we're past the 5-minute mark to submit your portfolio, so you have about 4 minutes before we choose to review. So is there a reason you did this? Oh, did you decide you weren't gonna put more details in the hair?
Oh, I am. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna be inverted, so that's why I still brought the pencil layer. So what's gonna happen is, I'll show you right now, I'll just start adding, like, I would add like some like white strokes in there like this. Like so, to give it that sort of individual strand treatment.
Looks good. No One Comic says, sent my portfolio for review. I would prefer a brutal review.
All right, if it gets picked, you asked for it.
We're gonna be really brutal.
Yeah, we don't hold back.
Jose says he's from a graffiti background.
Sick.
And he's an older designer and loves the way technology has treated our creatives.
Yeah, I second that notion. I think it's
I like
been
the way
amazing
he
for
said
us.
that. Like,
Yeah,
technology is treating us well.
it is. In the creative industry, it definitely is. It's like so many things that are possible now. And like, some people say it's a blessing and a curse, but it's also kind of making it easier for younger, more aspiring artists to get into it because of the digital aspect. So it is a saturated industry, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to see like a huge influx of bustling talent that would otherwise feel like inaccessible. You know what I mean? Because of digital, so it's nice.
So I don't know if everyone knows in the chat, but in order to do the portfolio review, we have to travel. Did you know this?
Really?
Yeah. We have to go to space.
All right, I think I'm ready.
Are you though?
I put in some training. I put in some hours. I feel like we have time to do this. We can do this.
Yeah, we're just preparing. It's gonna be 1:30 until we travel. But make sure you stay tuned because it's gonna be amazing. I don't know if we will be able to stay in our seats.
No, I don't know. We might just float away. Who knows? Spoiler alert.
So have you ever used another type of stylus with the iPad or only the pencil?
I've used other stylists. The pencil has been my most successful one, though, I think. I've definitely used other ones with like a softer end, harder end. I think the pencil fidelity, it's just the way Apple designed. It's designed for the iPad, so it just works the best.
Brandon bought an iPad Air only to find out that the Apple Pencil isn't compatible.
Oh, no.
So he's trying to see if there's other styluses.
I mean, that's the magic of the chat. Surely someone will have some recommendations,
Yeah.
for sure.
Have you heard of the Adonis Pixel?
Yeah. But remind me what that is again?
It sounds like it's a stylus that he's tried.
Yeah, it must be. In light of the conversation we're having, right? Yeah, it has to be that.
Yeah, so other people in the chat are commenting. Let us know if you've used another stylus. Oh, Adonit, not Adonis.
Adonit. Oh, okay.
Okay, Robert says he has his ticket. So we're going to space now to review the portfolios.
Yes.
In 2 seconds.
I'm ready to take
Are
off.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to take
Okay.
off. Let's do this. floating. I'm floating. I'm floating. I'm floating.
I hear myself so loud.
I'm like fogging up.
1, 2, 3.
I'm fogging up. Yes.
We're in space.
Here we go.
Hi,
Here we go.
everyone. So the first portfolio we have to review is from Arturo Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
And the next one we'll review is from Heather Lee. Thanks so much for everyone that submitted. We chose 2, but you can resubmit for the next stream as well. So, shall we dig in?
Yes, let's dig in.
Okay,
All right,
so
here we
here's
go.
Arturo. Let's see, I'll just do a little scroll to see the overview.
So, was it now the one? Oh, okay.
Okay, so your cursor.
Yeah, so that's the first critique I have. Like, I know why people choose to do stuff like this. And I feel like for me to get the initial wow factor in your portfolio, you want to just start with the color. Like, because right now I'm just assuming that even though I know of like all the tips and tricks of what websites do to make themselves more interactive, my assumption is that you only work in this palette right now. So especially if I'm like looking for an artist that works with a variety of different colors for like a freelance project, I'm gonna just brush on by that because chances are I honestly won't even have the time potentially to even like scroll over to realize, oh, he does work with color. So for me, unless you're working solely in black and white, I think it would behoove you to just immediately have color appear right away. Just so that people can get immediately what the graphs is.
Do you think it's useful to think of a limit of time, like my portfolio should pop within like 30 seconds of someone looking at it?
Absolutely, I think so, because especially in this industry, I talked about things being very saturated. So you'll apply to a company, depending on their popularity, they have to go through a lot of portfolios. So whatever you can do to give that initial wow factor, whatever the case may be, would definitely help.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's click around. So if I want to know about you, I like
Interesting.
this. It's like your
Like the
little
hijack,
symbols.
little takeovers, yeah.
He took over himself. Hello, my name is. My critique, because I'm a typography person, is that gray on gray is not readable.
Yeah.
So for me to read this right now, I'm like reading it, I'm like zooming in.
Yeah.
I can't see it very well.
Right.
So I feel like something for back to top, that's fine to be gray, but the really important information like your email, that kind of
you
thing.
want that kind of distinction, and like,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, definitely try like a larger font size as well. I think that doesn't hurt to do that. Just to like, if you just think about the whole ergonomics of the whole thing, like you kind of want things to be immediately accessible to whoever is reading it. So we potentially could read a font if we squint our eyes, but like.
Yeah, I could read it better like this.
With the special Iron Man visors that we got going on here. But
Yes.
no, I think putting it at a larger scale. I appreciate the photo. Kind of just gives us a hit into your personality a little bit, which is fine, especially when people are considering how you would fit in the office culture. But then in terms of like the key details, if you must use gray, then call out the specific points with like a black or bold type that really stands out, so that we can immediately see what's your number, what's like a top line thing about you, what's your email, things of that sort, if you want to immediately contact you without having to like go through this needle in the haystack, so to speak.
Yeah, and maybe put that information above your photo, because right now it's like there's a lot of space under the about me and then your photo, and then I have to scroll down to find your email. So that should be like, think about the hierarchy. What's the most important thing? Is it people seeing your photo or reading more about you that's like important information?
Sure. And I would say maybe if you want the photo to still be a focal point as well, then have them side by side. Like have a table so that's like photo on the left and then on the right is like your bio, email, all that stuff. Just immediately visible from the moment you click on the link.
That's a really great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Okay, resume.
Very interesting resume approach. I like the idea of using iconography to immediately see exactly what it is that you do. So people that are like sort of visually versed in that kind of language that's like kind of refreshing to see, I think. Still though, I feel like it's still so spread out. Like
I almost feel like you want to compress it a little bit somehow. So again, like if you want to use this iconographic approach, rather than listing it, maybe it's like in a grid format or something, so that you take up less real estate and it allows people to kind of immediately grasp what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't have to be, it's not a piece of paper.
No.
So it could be more horizontal and like less vertical lines.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. I think there's definitely something to be said about that. Like just try to optimize the kind of medium that you're using. Like on a printed resume, then yeah, sure, you're forced to almost have to use a portrait format because that's just the industry standard. But when it comes to digital, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason as to how you organize this. You can do whatever you want, really. That makes the most sense in the medium that you're working in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, contact form.
Yeah, straightforward.
Cool. So here are the projects, work in progress. This is the current project I'm working on in my spare time. Right now it's called the Cheers Project. I've chosen 15 ways to say cheers in different languages.
Okay.
Oh. L'chaim.
Now here's what I would say in terms of showing WIP instead of showing final work. This might be different for different people, but for me, I'd rather start with like a complete project that's been like utilized. If you work with clients, like start with a complete project that has client experience, that's been utilized potentially, and that's something that you're proud of first, and then like, cause like what with the WIPs is like, okay, this is a WIP, so there's no way of knowing is this the finished product, how does the finished product look, and if I'm looking for an immediate understanding of what your workflow is and how you close things out, I want to see like a finished product first, not necessarily a WIP product. So I would say the WIP should probably go towards the end, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, A to Z, an exercise in character development. Oh, okay. So he was watching one of our lettering streams and submitted this, I'm guessing. That's cool. So let's see. Does it say, though, what it is?
Yeah.
An exercise in character development. So is it a font? Is it a lettering project? Like, what can you do with this project?
Yeah, it's something, just needs something a bit more specific. Maybe it's in the video, but it'd be nice to have a more clear description as to what's going on. So he's showing the process here, which is nice. It's actually a good thing. You know, to kind of make it more engaging, I'm not sure what the capabilities are with this. Is this the Behance portfolio that he's using for this website?
No, it's his website, arturosdesign.com.
Because what you could do...
Oh, he's
okay,
using...
Cool.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
He's using Behance to generate his own website.
Okay, cool. Because I know that Behance can show GIFs. So what might be nice is before you have people click on a video and like have to wait it to load, maybe what you do is as a precursor, start with like some GIFs of the process. So like you'll show like the A transforming and the B and the C transforming in like one horizontal format. Maybe that's like the first thing you see. Then underneath that, you write a description of the project. And then you can go into other sort of assets that talk about the project. And then like I would potentially...
I'm leaving because it showed all the YouTube videos.
Yeah, because I would, in my personal opinion, I would start with like a GIF that shows the process, like the kind of hint what's going on, and then the description, and then show like all like, at the bottom you had all like the sort of written lettering. So I would show that next, and then close out with video process, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we take these off? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sure. We have oxygen in here, right? So it's good. Yeah, we're all right. Yeah.
Okay. It was getting a little hot in there.
Yeah, I can hear my echoing in my head.
Okay, so idioms. He has this project to refine his lettering process.
Yeah, no, that's looking cool.
That's great.
Yeah, I would still, like, in terms of hierarchy, maybe pick some of your favorites and have them bigger than the others.
Yeah, because then... Oh, I can't click on these. I thought I could.
Yeah, so you want to be able to appreciate the details. So like, we don't have to click through all of them. Again, the idea of a portfolio is you want to be able to have an opportunity to go through a journey in it or to immediately grasp what's happening. So these are awesome, but I would preface it by like having some logos that take a much larger space so that they can appreciate the details, because your logo style tends to have a lot of detail to appreciate in there. And so to have it that small might not do the work justice for some of them. So yeah, slightly larger, only like maybe like your top 5 logos, and then like on the bottom you can have like
the whole collection of other ones that you've done in the past, if people are curious to see. Well, that's how I would do it.
Okay, hip hop. Some phrases from hip hop songs.
Cool. Watch out for me, I'm about to glow. Yeah, I like this stuff. Yeah, this is awesome. You know what would also be really helpful to help bolster this? Like, you do a lot of typographic experiments. Maybe place them in a context. Like, even though it's not like realistic, how does this look on a jacket? How does this look on a chalkboard? How does this like give it some spatial context so that clients can easily envision? Because a lot of clients, believe it or not, are not so visually inclined sometimes, and they need hand-holding to envision how does this work on my product. So you have all these great sort of lockups. Start to mock them up on like things like beer bottles and like things like that, so that people can really start to contextualize how it's working, which is cool.
Yeah, that's great advice. Alphabet, the Alphabet Project 26-day challenge, where I created 26 different pieces using the letters of the alphabet. Okay, so again, these are really small. Then they get bigger.
Yeah, I just only have the bigger. You don't even need the small one. Just start. That's a perfect size. Just have them on top underneath the description. Done.
You don't need to show everything at the beginning. I actually saw the Hallelujah one. That reminds me.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was cool. Monoline, studying letter form and word flow. Okay.
Yeah, I think this one still feels a bit too unfinished for some reason. There's something
I
about
would say
it.
don't include this or put it under the whip, like lower down, because I couldn't visualize as a client what I would do with any of this.
Or you really narrow it down to just the final elements and start to, like we said before, kind of mock them up in certain situations. Whether it's like on like a product of some kind, or maybe just give it like a much more finished feel. Like there's something about white on black that makes it feel more finished than gray. Gray feels very much like a process background to me with all the colors.
It looks like it's on paper.
Yeah, like
something.
it still feels very whipped. So.
Okay, let's get through this so we can go to Heather's. We've got web. Wow, you do a lot of stuff, Arturo.
So very quickly with the web design stuff, I would say put them in a context again. Like put it on like a computer screen. Like there's all kinds of little like mock-up stuff you can download for free on the internet.
A picture of a laptop with it on.
Yeah, just to give it some more context and stuff, so that you can appreciate those web sizes a bit bigger.
And with the logos, a logo can go on a product as well.
Or just like you have them in a grid format here. But I almost feel like there's something really awkward about how it's composed. I'm not sure, maybe because of the number that there is, but when you have that situation where you can't like evenly divvy them up, I think it's always better to have like at least a couple in a row than having one on its own, then like four or five in the middle, then like one on the bottom. Just like kind of arrange them so that the grid feels a bit more composed, you know, a little bit. It kind of looks weird having it this way.
Yeah. Magazine layouts. Corporate identity.
Yeah, so that is more successful than the magazine layout. Definitely do more like this and allow those again to be bigger, like one on top of each other, much larger, so you can see some of the details and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely want to see the details. If it was this big, it would be much better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to zoom in.
Yeah, make it much larger.
Okay, so generally, it looks like you're so prolific. You do so many things, which is great. Very versatile.
Yeah.
Someone could hire you for a lot of different things on the same project. Do you have one overarching thing to say about?
Focus on hierarchy. Yeah, just work on your hierarchy. That was like the running theme, I think, with this one. It's just prioritizing what's more important.
Just imagine someone has 30 seconds. What do you want them to see first on each of your menu items, and how can you arrange those menu items to really pop and get your message across? All right, Heather.
All right, here
it's
we
your
go.
turn. So here's her Behance profile. Freelance Illustrator, BA in Fine Art from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
Let me know what you want me to click on if I'm not.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. We could just start with like the first one, since that's the first thing we see so far. Let's focus on there. Oh, very nice.
Arturo says, thanks so much. Great feedback.
No problem, Arturo. Keep up the good work, man.
Look at this little unicorn boy.
These are great. So I'm one picture book. I was gonna say, yeah, because this definitely has like this sort of storybook vibe for me. Absolutely. I think the style is great. I have no comments on the style whatsoever. It's let me see, in terms of like how everything's arranged, it looks really good. You know what would be really nice, which I don't see often, kind of tying back to placing things in context again. Like I kind of would like to see mock-ups of this thing in an actual book.
Yes.
You know, like I don't know what your capabilities are. If you like are able to do any like slight 3Ding, or can like Photoshop like these things on like a empty book somehow, just to see, because it's just something nice about seeing things mocked up. I always enjoy looking at that.
Yeah. So we can go to the next project, mermaids. Okay.
Yeah, so this one, you want to do it more like how you did the first one. Definitely lay them out one on top of the other. And so you really allow breathing room and allow them to like check out. Especially since I noticed they're each individual. I already just clicked on one. They're obviously each individual photo. So you must, I guess you use the photo grid for this to arrange it that way. I would totally line them up, because you have all these details. It'd be a shame to get them lost and have them click. Obviously people know you can click on them, but the less work you make the person viewing your portfolio, the better, basically. Like, you don't want them to work more than they have to appreciate your work.
Yeah. Anything that pops
let's do a little Russian roulette.
you?
There's one, go down one more with the cursor, that one.
The bees?
Yeah, that kind of like sticks out to me. So yeah, again, so like much bigger, which is better. You can really appreciate the details on here. Is it just like a singular illustration?
Yes.
Okay, so here's an idea. If all you have is this, right, to show, and like it's big enough, you appreciate the details, show some process. Like show how you lay down the pencils, show like how you choose your colors. If you think ahead, do like a time lapse. If you're not using the sketch or draw stuff, that does it for you. Like see about like creating time lapses for it. Even if you've already drawn it and you still want to do a time lapse, people even appreciate simple things of like turning layers on and off, so that they can just see the build up, see what's like all the individual layers in your work, which would be cool. Then you'll start to create more collateral and stuff. People also like to isolate different characters. Like you'll isolate the boy design, the girl design, and maybe show like how he developed as a character design along the process. So like you can see like all the pencils that led to the final design of the boy, things of that sort too.
Yeah. Let's see. Her journey continues. Ooh.
Journey continues, yeah. Another one that would be great to see, like time lapses of how you build this stuff. That'll help build like the whole sort of story of how these things work. Because it's always great seeing the final result. So for me, like when someone has a great style but all they're showing is the final result, I start to get more curious about what the process is at that point. Because like, especially if you're learning, like you kind of want to get it in on how they go about thinking about the work, how do they concept the work, things like that. So how do you crack your compositions? So seeing things like time lapses, seeing things like process sketches is always great.
Look at the morning hair. The bedhead.
Bedhead.
That's so cute.
Yeah. What and also what kind of these look like hand drawn. I can't tell if these are hand drawn. If this is hand drawn or digital. I'm guessing it's digital, but it'd be nice to get an in on like what your process is.
Usually you show the tools you use
Exactly.
here. So you could show the apps.
Yeah.
Heather's listening. She says, great tips. I'm not comfortable in the best way to work in Behance yet. So yeah, this is a good learning experience.
Yeah, really nice composition. I like that sense of motion. Really captured the wind there quite nicely. I'm wondering now too, like, have you ever thought about experimenting with your colors? Because you obviously have a very distinct style with your colors. Have you thought about having an approach that's more like cell shading, or like how does your work look? Because if you think about editorial work and things of that sort, they come in various shapes and sizes. You obviously have this one thing down. So I would challenge you to try another variation of coloration that is a bit more simpler, a bit more bold. Maybe try some more maybe look at graphic design references here. You can compose how you frame your work, interestingly. Maybe things coming off the frame, things of that sort. That might be a cool way to kind of like spear your sort of aesthetic in a different direction.
Wow.
Yeah, it has
It's
some
very
like,
cool, very
three-dimensionality.
whimsical.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, this is dark. We're getting darker now. Why do I think of Donnie Darko when I see this one?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so yeah, it's all pretty much finished stuff. So showing more of your process. Wait, let me follow. Showing more of applications.
Yes.
That was kind of the big takeaway. If it's for a children's book, try to find an image of a book that you can overlay your illustration.
Yeah, show it some context. And if you're working with like a copywriter or like a writer or something, having their words to coincide with the images that you draw is a nice thing too. Like to kind of see what the story is about visually. It kind of like adds more meaning to your images to a certain extent too.
Yeah. Great work.
Awesome. Yeah.
Heather and Arturo, thank you so much for submitting.
Yeah,
and
thanks for
those of
sharing,
you
guys.
that didn't see your portfolio, you can submit again for the next segment or the one after.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
we only have a few minutes left,
Aw.
like 5 more minutes.
Bittersweet
or less.
ending. It's
Yeah.
Bittersweet ending. It was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed the stream. You guys have been awesome, very helpful, very insightful. And I hope to be back.
Yeah. So if we go back to your iPad,
Yeah.
let's get some color suggestions. So Curve's
Yeah.
gonna finish this later because we don't have time right now.
Yeah, and I'll post it on my Instagram with a time lapse so you guys can see what the finished result is.
Yeah.
But for color, so what I like to do, and you guys are welcome to give feedback. So, like, let's see. So for Brisseaux, I went with like an orange-yellow treatment, right? So we could like start with that, and we can like change up different colors if we want to. So like if I wanted to add color, I would just like how I did with yesterday. You know, you lay down the block.
Yeah, and then you can just hold down the pencil and it will then fill in that whole area.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So let us know in the chat, we only have a couple minutes, what colors you would like to see in this composition.
Yes.
I know that Tim challenged you to add bright pink earlier.
Oh, bright pink? Yeah, I'm down. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll gladly add some bright pink. Maybe I'll make the panther in bright pink. Pink panther.
Kevin says black and orange. Kiva says pink and green with gold. That's
Pink
kind of
and
like
gold.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Burnt orange, green, purple. So a lot of bright colors. People are
People are vibing. They're vibing with the bright colors
purple
now.
and yellow. Okay, so there's a lot of pinks. Oh, Tim said hot pink. Okay.
Hot pink. Got you. Definitely will put
A lot
some
of
hot pink
pinks,
in there.
purples, orange, green, lime green. God, how are you going to do all that?
You know what?
It's a big challenge.
It is a big challenge, but we'll make it through. And what I like to do too, to add value, so you have to determine, like, you know, a lot of illustrators will figure this out, where your sun is coming from. So if I want to add some more values to it, say the sun is coming from, like, my pencil's right here, so say it's coming from this way. So you're going to add highlights to accentuate that, right? So she would have, like a rim of light coming from this way. This side would probably be dark. Maybe there's some light happening on the top of the nose.
It already looks so good just with that line.
Yeah, it helps a lot. It helps a whole lot. And like maybe we'll add some of this. Maybe the top of the lip will have some stuff too. Here and here. Show that.
Ooh,
so like you're starting to like
okay.
gain more like values and stuff to see like how the face now starts to take form because of the simple act of recognizing where your sun is coming from.
Yeah.
Here, we'll remove the red underneath.
Oh,
so-
Patrick saw the mermaid patch. Yeah, that
Yes, shouts to
in your
Patrick for the
honor.
mermaid. That is in your honor, my friend. I love the
showed
thought
Curve
mermaid.
your illustration because he didn't get a chance to see it yesterday.
Yeah, and it was awesome. Well done.
Sarah has to go back to work. Good to see you. Oh, not Sarah Stewart. Sarah Stewart just looked up at me because Sarah Stewart is back in the studio and their stream, Sarah and Kathleen, will be up next. We are pretty much at the end, unfortunately. Curve's going to continue the illustration he was doing. And thanks so much for joining, everyone.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. Absolutely enjoyed it. I hope you guys did too. Until next time.
Bye.
Later.
Let the honey. You reach for me.